Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to another Hidden Horrors movie review. Now, this is one that's a movie that was pretty popular when it came out. Not so much amongst critics, but people that were just normies, people like my mom. My mom has been talking about this movie forever. And around probably a month ago, my wife and I were just hanging out, and I decided that I really wanted to watch this movie. I don't know why it hit me all of a sudden, but it did. And I remember my mom talking about it a lot, my grandparents talking about it a lot, back from 2002 when this movie came out. And I finally happened to be looking, I think it was a Tubi or Prime or something. It just showed up. It was there, free to watch. Free to watch. I guess if it's on Tubi, it is free. But anyway, I put it on immediately. And now, mind you, in case you're new to the channel, in case you don't know me or know my wife or anybody, my wife does not really find a lot of interest in movies. Every once in a while, one will hook her and she'll kind of put her phone down where she usually reads books, or if she's reading a paperback, she'll put that down and start to pay attention to the TV because of something being so engaging. It doesn't happen often, but I do laugh and do mention it in my reviews when that happens. This movie did that to her, and she watched it from beginning to end. Within the first 5 minutes of this movie, she put her phone down and got sucked into it, and my wife does not do that. I think this is the first movie in probably since Christmas time, where we usually watch a lot of Christmas stuff. We're big Christmas people. Aside from a regular rewatch of a Christmas movie, this is the first new-to-her movie that she has seen all the way through from beginning to end, in probably years, to be honest with you. I love that woman. That's why I married her. Anyway, this is a 2002 thriller starring Jennifer Lopez called Enough. Now, the director of this movie, I don't know anything about. I looked into his career. I really don't know much of anything else he did aside from maybe an episode or two or as a producer or something for the TV show Rome, but he didn't really do much. The writer of this movie, the only project I ever knew from him was Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams, which scared the hell out of me as a kid, but I also have a VHS tape of it somewhere around here for some reason. Enough is a movie that I think everybody should see. I think it is the greatest epitome of feminist filmmaking in a good way, This is what you make when you want to truly mean your words when you say you want to make a strong female character. This is a fantastic movie. Now again, I'm the type that I get annoyed with modern day strong female movies because they're not actually strong females. They're just pathetic, to be honest with you. They're snarky narcissists that just kind of suck ass. And Enough is a great example of, number one, how great Jennifer Lopez is, and number two, how incredible this kind of story can be. And you might say, well, that's not really a horror film, it's kind of a thriller, kind of a family drama movie. No, I would argue this is straight out a horror movie, because what makes this so horrific, and when I get to the subject matter, you might understand why. This can happen to people. This can happen to men, women, anybody, children especially, and there's even a child caught up in this situation, that it makes it more terrifying than I ever thought it would have been. And after seeing this for the first time ever, all the way through, even though I had seen parts of this back in the day, especially the final confrontation of the movie, I can tell you I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I could not wait to get a copy for my collection. My uncle just gave away a bunch of movies to me, and I picked up this from that selection, so I was stoked. Anyway, Enough is about 2 hours long, and again, it stars Jennifer Lopez as a woman. In the first, 5-10 minutes of the movie, we watch her meet this guy, fall in love with him, they end up having a baby, they get married, and so on and so on. And over time, within that first 15-20 minutes of the movie, we realize that, along with her, this guy's not what he seemed like at first. He is, there's a lot of red flags surrounding him, and eventually he becomes very abusive. I mean, super abusive. And it gets to the point he begins to kind of be kind of stalker-ish to his own wife, and he beats the hell out of her. And that first time that really happens, that we witness that, if you don't feel the blood in your body boiling, I don't even know how to feel, dude. But she ends up trying to leave him, and he ain't gonna have it. He chases her down. She has a kid in the mix of all this too, and she's trying to take her child with her to protect her kid. And her best friend is Juliette Lewis, the oldest daughter from Christmas Vacation. She's in that horrible Brad Pitt movie, California. I'm like the one person on the planet that despises California. I think it's one of the worst movies ever made. But anyway, her best friend is Juliette Lewis, and she's trying to help her out, get away from this guy too. And Jennifer Lopez has to go on the run. And this guy is insane. I mean, he is absolutely crazy. He's trying to accuse her of having their daughter, or I think it's a daughter. Anyway, their kid kidnapped. It's been a few weeks. It's been about like a month since I've seen it. So he's trying to accuse her of having their child kidnapped from him. He wants to get custody of the kid. And Jennifer Lopez, when she goes to contact, the police, they can't really do anything because there's not enough evidence to prove what's going on. So they cannot really help. And truly, this is a thing that happens in real life. And it is horrific. And again, this was pretty popular amongst audiences, but I think it is so sadly forgotten over the last 22 years that I think I needed to put it in my hidden horror segment on my channel, hoping that when people look at this video, or if they go to that playlist on my channel, they can find out about this awesome movie. This freaking awesome movie, dude, that I love so much now. One of probably my favorite Jennifer Lopez performance and movie that she ever made, personally. And I like J-Lo. I'm not her biggest fan, obviously. My wife likes her even more than I do. She always has. But this is like her best performance, her best movie. One of the best things about this film that might not sound like a strong female character at this point, it's the emotional stuff that she's going through. It's this subplot of this other guy she kind of knew at one point that, is trying to help her out as well. Her best friend, Juliette Lewis, their relationship of how they're trying to she's trying to support Jennifer Lopez in this horrible time, trying to help her get away from this maniac that she married. But also, this is the big thing, Jennifer Lopez at one point begins to take self-defense courses and kind of martial arts classes. And it's realistic. It's not, 110-pound woman beating up 200-pound muscular dude. It's not like that. It's not unrealistic. It's a very realistic type of fighting style, and it's badass. And Jennifer Lopez did so much training for this film. She's so in shape and fit for this film. She's always been fit, but this is her at her peak of being strong, dude. When she has to utilize these tools of martial arts and whatever to be able to fight this person, this isn't like a martial arts Steven Seagal movie. This is like an actual thriller in the way it's executed. She is so badass by the end of this movie, dude. And again, it's such a satisfying movie when you get to the end of it. This is a wonderful date night movie. It's one of those movies that, again, I think it's sad that the modern day talentless hacks in Hollywood can look at the shit that they put out, like Harley Quinn or I don't know, what's another great example? The newest Terminator film, Dark Fate, and think that that is a strong female character when all they do is whine and bitch the entire movie. This right here is a strong female character film. This is what I wish more young ladies who do deal, and just in general, I guess people in general, dudes or women, the people who deal with more of that kind of insane, maniacal, abusive relationship stuff, this is the kind of film they need to see. Not this stupid shit that's coming out nowadays that's just almost more propaganda than anything and very unrealistic most of the time. This is what they need to see because this is actually beautifully done, whether it be in every performance, especially from J-Lo. Juliette Lewis is good, and I'm not even a big fan of her most of the time. But also the guy playing the husband who's crazy, he's really great. The kid in the film is great. Everybody in this movie is wonderful. The directing is good. The budget looks great. The cinematography is good for its time. It's a well-shot thriller that, again, to me is a horror movie more than a thriller because of how real this feels sometimes. This is something that can happen every day and does happen every day. And I could not recommend it enough to really get that satisfying just oomph in your whole weekend, your whole day, whenever you watch this movie. I hope it's based on my recommendation, especially for you young folks out there who have probably never heard about this movie because it's been forgotten by the wayside. I cannot believe how low the ratings are on IMDb, but everyone I've ever talked to about this film has talked about how much they loved it. My wife went to work and told her friends about how much she loved it. It makes me laugh because people have forgotten about this movie, and people like me and her are trying to get everybody to watch this thing because of how freaking great it is. The music in it is good. It's very intense. It's a very tense-filled movie in general. That whole 2-hour pacing flies by. You won't even feel it, dude. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing out on my little list here. I'm not seeing anything, but the writing, by the way, is pretty strong for everything in here. If you have not seen enough from 2002, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie. It's scary, it's terrifying to be honest with you, and I think, again, that it would bring up a lot of things people could notice, especially young ladies who are trying to date around and whatever. a lot of big red flags will be noticed by you when you watch this film. Maybe it'll help you look out for some things that maybe aren't so subtle most of the time. But just in general, this is such a strong, crazy movie that I think more people need to see. I wish we made more movies like this nowadays, but it's so against what we do now. You know, everything has to be one side or the other. Everything has to be so CGI focused, CGI centric, superhero centric, even though that's dying out because of what Marvel and DC have done. I wish we had more movies like this, and I wish we could return to form of making stuff like this. If this kind of thing came out now, I don't think people would go see it. I think Twitter would hate it because of how realistic it is most of the time. This is a great film. If you haven't seen enough, you owe it to yourself. Please watch this awesome movie. And again, if you're a horror fan, please watch it because the tension building, the scares in this film, the jump scares that are in it, it is such a frightening movie. My wife was so into this. She said it was one of her favorite movies she's seen in years. So that should tell you everything you need to know. And the fact that this is not talked about more is insufferable to me. If I had to rate enough on a 5-star basis, I recommend it at my highest rating, a 5 out of 5 stars. Please go check this out. It deserves every amount of praise and love that it can get from people who have seen it. And it's wonderful. Everything about it that could be well made is well made. It's a beautifully executed film, and I love it deeply. Anyway, another hidden horror knocked down the playlist pipeline, and I hope you guys check it out. I hope you take my recommendation, and if you did, please let me know down below what you think about it, because I really think a lot of people would love this movie. I really believe that. It's kind of a mainstream thriller, but it's so strong I can't see people not loving this. Anyway, have you guys seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know what you think about it. Enough. I'll catch you later. God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.